What's up, everyone? Welcome to Nickel City Mafia. Welcome to the Rush. Our Buffalo Bills get a big win against the Broncos, 31-7. Man, we're going to break it all down and how exciting that was. But hey, I want to talk a little bit about the new dad on our show here, Mr. Brett McDurphy over here in the middle. He's been gone for the past 30 days, getting prepped to be a daddy, going through Lamaze classes. And then he had a beautiful baby boy, Bennett Michael McDurphy. What a great name. I keep wanting to call him Michael Bennett because that's my name, but it's kind of, I get confused. But no, it's a beautiful name. Brett, how you doing? How's Hannah doing? How's the baby doing?
Well, I'm going to start off with the baby. The baby's doing wonderful, measured in perfectly, and had his first meeting with the pediatrician, doing incredible. Came in at 6 pounds, 10 ounces. So he's a little bit of a Spencer Brown type, big muscular guy and everything. Looking great. And listen, he's just healthy as can be. He dropped a little bit of weight in the off season, I call it, in the past couple of days, but getting the weight back up, getting into football shape and doing incredible. My wife has been a trooper. Listen, natural birth, doing everything that she possibly could. Perfect pregnancy, perfect labor, no issues whatsoever. Had an epidural, and she looks incredible. I still can't believe, for having a baby, how well my wife looks. She is sleeping like 1 hour a night, so I feel bad for her. I'm getting a little bit of the dad rest and enjoying my peace and quiet on this nice time off for paternity leave, which is great. But she's doing good. I'm just so blessed, and thank God. I mean, I'm going to say this right now, for having such a perfect pregnancy and great birth, and what a blessing I have here to have my son be able to watch the first Bills game, first playoff game of the year with him. He waited long enough just so that we didn't have to have the New England Patriots be that game that was his first game, but he's doing wonderful. And he's literally staring at me right now on the side of the screen, looking at Dad doing his first podcast here on the channel. So he's happy as can be and smiling already too.
I love it. And then you put out a video today, I believe it was, where I wasn't sure whether you're going to have them break a table or not. You kind of mentioned it. You're like, but no, you changed it. Why don't you talk about that real quick? It's real cool, and just tell people where they can go see that because they got to check it out.
Yeah. So I was thinking about it all week. I'm like, listen, I got to do something to dedicate my son into the Bills Mafia. And we kind of came up with this idea last minute, where we had a offensive line formation. So we took some beer bottles, put it in front, had a nice little formation where we had the starting 5 offensive linemen, Josh Allen, and then James Cook in the backfield. And everybody, was lined up. We put my son through Labatt's I can't even think of what it's called now, but the cardboard box. So it was nice to do, and he is now dedicated as the newest member in Bills Mafia. Looks great, and it was a really nice show. But you can find that in the shorts option on GoBillsPodcast.com. You can click on over there and see that video, and just let us know that you came from Nickel City Mafia. Drop a little comment and say Go Bills, and wish Bennett lots of luck with all the heartbreaking moments and all the exciting moments. But as my friend said earlier, you're going to learn to love and hate the Bills Mafia at the same time. But it's all out of love and all out of a lot of red, white, and blue and patriotic colors. So he's going to be excited for the rest of the playoffs.
Hey, how cool would it be if Bennett brings us the championship, right? We get that baby luck, and he carries us all the way to Super Bowl and gets us that big win. I do like how you're kind of wanting Bennett to be an offensive tackle. Big money there. Versus Jake, he wants his son to be a fullback. It's not a lot of money in a fullback, and who knows when that little boy grows up if fullbacks are even a thing anymore.
Exactly.
They're becoming extinct. But anyhow, I want to say hi to the folks out on the channel. Truck reviewer coming in. He says, my uncle called Cam Lewis Levi Wallace. So I asked him, why would he insult Levi like that? Come on, truck reviewer. Cam Lewis played an important role today again. He laughed at that one. And then we got RX Flyfishing joining us. Thank you guys for joining us. And, as you roll in here for the show, please remember to hit that like button. And I know you guys have been here before. So thank you guys. We're going to get into it. So, Sean, how you doing real quick before we get into the details here? How you doing, buddy?
Doing wonderful. Can't complain. A lot of people, a lot of the media thought it'd be upset, and it turned out wasn't even close. Besides that one fluke touchdown pass, it was an absolute rout. And yeah, it was supposed to be like that. We're a better football team, got a better quarterback, and it showed. And now we got the Ravens next week, and should be a good one.
Chris, our good friend who's a Ravens fan, does the fantasy football shows for us. We had a group chat going today, which was pretty cool. Bills and Ravens, elite users of fullbacks. What's Picard getting paid these days, Chris? I wonder what his contract's at right now. Whether we'll have to check what Reggie Gilliam's getting paid. I guarantee they're not getting anywhere near like a Spencer Brown or Deion Dawkins. So cool stuff there. Good to see you, Chris. Thanks for joining us. And they said in the group chat, they said, how about we make it easy? Winner next week is the MVP. How about that? I'm down for it. Let's do this.
So I got the numbers for you real quick, Mike.
Yeah.
I got Pat Ricard's numbers. He is making $3.75 million this season. Reggie Gilliam is nowhere near that. He's near the bottom of the league, actually making the minimum for the Buffalo Bills.
All right. Well, Picard's been around a little bit longer, and I think, but he's a lot bigger, and he's difficult to handle when you put him in front of Derrick Henry. We'll find out next week, but we got a plan for that, Chris. Got a plan for that. And then Saint Seven coming in says, felt like most controlled game we ever played in a while. Glad I caught you guys live. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Glad you caught us live as well. So let's get into it. Let's get into it, Sean. So Bills win the coin toss, and you're like, beautiful. That's what we like to do. And we kick off, and we're like, all right, let's go. Let's go, defense. But I'll be damned. 5 plays later, the Broncos are in the end zone. It all came about as the 3rd and 8. And again, we've had issues on 3rd and 8, right? 3rd and 8 is considered 3rd and long. And lo and behold, Bo Nix makes a beautiful pass to Sutton, and they get the first down. Then 2 plays later, he goes deep, 43 yards, and to Troy Franklin, which is a great throw. Kind of like you're looking like he was wide open. What are our safeties doing? But after that, 5 plays. What are you thinking?
They're talking to me. Well, I was like, this could be a long day. It seemed that they just let him run by. Rasul Douglas, assumed that there was multiple people helping back there. And I think Taylor Rapp wasn't assuming he was going to let his guy go, and he was just going to be the help over there. And at that point, it was too late. And like you said, it was a good throw. But the drive started off good, stopped the run twice. And, 3rd and 8, he's got to make a play, and they didn't. But other than that, that first drive makes you think like, oh man, this defense it's gonna have to be a 40-point game for us. But as we went on throughout the game, they did exceptional, and really impressed especially with down the stretch. Even if they were playing a bad offensive team, they gave up points. So really good job.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to throw that to you, Brett. I'm going to go to Sean this time, and I'll go to you the next 2 because I want Sean to talk about the O-line. So the Bills get the ball, and they go on a 12-play. Let's see here. 12-play, 59-yard drive, and they have to settle for a field goal. But, Sean, you had to see they were playing bully ball. That old line was dominating. And if it wasn't for the Broncos playing really good defense inside the red zone, Buffalo comes away with a touchdown. But you're a little disappointed. But you start to see how this game is going to go, right? Talk to me about what you're seeing on that drive.
Yeah, like you said, the O-line set the tone, and they didn't care that you had 63 sacks. They treated you like they treated any defensive line we played this year, and pushed the line of scrimmage in the run game. Gave Josh a ton of time in pass blocking. He was sacked twice, but the second one was because he thought Kincaid was being held in the end zone. He held the ball too long, and after 4 or 5 seconds, he got sacked. The first time he got sacked, David Edwards just got beat by a good defensive player. So, all in all, for the best defensive line in the league, we had an awesome showing, and it started with that first drive when we just could do whatever we did, whatever we wanted. We ran the ball for, I think the first 2 drives, 100 yards. The first 2 drives we had, and that's insane. So credit to them, and that week off might have did a lot of good for them because they were doing outstanding before that, but then they got a week off to rest their bodies until a big physical matchup, and they were ready. They're ready for this game. They left it all out there.
Yes, I know because we have our group chat during the games, and I know we're all a little disappointed. Like, dang, we can't only put up 3, right? Can't do this against elite teams going forward. And needed it for this game. We want to see them get in the end zone. And then based on what happened on that first drive, you gotta be a little concerned. It's 7-3. What if they come down and put up another touchdown? But Brett, the defense all of a sudden flips a switch, and Babbage and McDermott, I don't know, they must have been talking after that first series and like, all right, let's do this. And they get the Broncos out 3 and out, which was beautiful to see. And then again, let me throw it to you here. Then the Bills get the ball back, dude. 13 plays, 81 yards, 7.5-minute drive, capped off by a beautiful Josh Allen pass to Curtis. Hold on. No, sorry. It was a Kincaid. Where's the touchdown here? Let's see.
Actually, I think it was.
It went into the. Sorry, it went into the second quarter. That's how long it was. I'm trying to look at the play-by-play, and it's wrapping over into the second quarter. And yes, James Cook goes left guard for 5 yards, touchdown.
Yep.
Brett, I mean, and you see it again, continued from that first drive. 13 plays, 81 yards, 7.5 minutes, total dominance by the offensive line. Who was taking on a very good defense, top defense as far as sacks on the season, 63. Yeah. But again, talk to me about this drive.
Yeah, look at this drive and listen. The Bills' offensive line, this is where Sean does his offensive line film. You're going to see it dissected in the next couple of days when he does that offensive line film. What I saw is just bully ball. And that's what Buffalo is known for right now, is getting Alec Anderson into the game. You're starting to see him get comfortable, and he did a really good job of opening up holes. One of the plays I saw was where James Cook, he was at like 7-8 yards, and then you see Deion Dawkins and the rest of the offensive linemen pushing him down the field to get 15, 20 yards on that play. And just a wonderful job by that offensive line, and to take on a defensive line that, like we mentioned, with Vance Joseph leading that defense, 63 sacks this season, and the Bills were able to move down the field and take advantage of some of the holes that they created or hurt themselves on. So there was opportunities I saw in the game. I saw that they're going to try and pass rush and try and get Josh Allen uncomfortable in the pocket, and they didn't do that. Josh Allen capitalized by playing chess, and he got his running back involved in the game and made some incredible holes for James Cook to run the ball and get down the field and get a great score on a 13-play drive.
That's beautiful. So the Bills go up 10-7, kickoff to the Broncos, and the Broncos go on a nice 9-play drive for 4.5 minutes. But they had a 4th and 8 at the Denver 43, and I'll let you talk about this, Sean. I mean, you got to be a little frustrated. This happens, and the Bills allow it to happen. And that's the fake. There, Sean?
Oh, sorry. My computer was acting up. I missed that last part.
Yeah. So on this drive here, where they had a 4th and 8, and they surprised the Bills with a fake punt, throw a nice pass, get the first down to extend the drive. You got to be frustrated at that point. You're like, what the hell is Smiley doing on this special teams here?
Yeah, it's unacceptable. I mean, luckily it didn't equal to anything or change the game in any way. But especially in the playoffs, you did a good job, and your defense won the round, and then we're getting off the field, and the gunner was going back like he was playing corner when you're supposed to be up in the guy's face, jamming him so you can stop him and keep him away from your guy receiving the football. And Ingram ran backpedaled like he was like he was playing defensive back. Just unfortunately, they were going to run that play anyway. But if he was playing up on the guy, then it would have been a more contested throw. Maybe we would have even sacked the punter. Maybe he would have been too scared and made a bad throw. But we should have known Sean Payton. He onside kicked in the Super Bowl that one time he went, and he was just willing to pull out all the stops. And again, luckily it didn't mean anything. But this is too many times now that the special teams made mistakes that could have led to something bad. And I mean, imagine if, it was 7-3 at the time, right? So imagine if they get that, and then they get that first down, and all of a sudden they go get a touchdown, and then it's 14-3, or one of your key guys gets hurt on the remainder of the drive when they should have been off the field. It's just, really unacceptable, especially in big moments in the playoffs. And you stop the Ravens next week, and they do that to you when it's every possession could mean that's who's going to win the game. That's just not how you win down the stretch. So hopefully Sean McDermott gives him a 50th chance and says, hey, you got to clean your stuff up, and we really need you down the stretch. And man, I just was shaking my head when that happened. My phone died at that point, so I didn't message you guys, but I was watching, and I was just like, man, of course. It's just every time it feels like it happens to us.
So they get three more plays out of it. The Bills defense holds up and stops them. However, they're able to punt the ball and back the Bills up to the 1. So if we had gotten the ball back a little earlier in that drive, we probably have better field position. But we got to start at the 1 yard line, Brett. 1 yard line, right? Yeah. And guess what? Bills go on another 11 play and 6.5 minute drive. Now they have to punt. They only get 39 yards, but they take up 6.5 minutes on the clock, 11 plays. Right. I'm not sure. I think there was maybe a couple penalties on this drive, but
yeah, I think we had a false start, and then Josh got sacked after the false start. That was when Edwards got beat pretty bad, but self-inflicting wounds, like we always talk about, right? We had 3 false starts, I think, total, and you're the home team. And one of them was when we were at the 1, and Brown was trying to, make him jump so we could get the 5 yards. One of them was on Cook. One of them was on Dion. You just can't. Again, every little thing matters, and again, luckily, none of that mattered at the end. But you go from third, or I forgot what the down and distance was, but you back up 5 yards and you get sacked. It's 3rd and 21, and then you just throw like a 15-yard pass, and you have to punt the ball. When if you didn't get that 5-yard penalty, you might have been close enough to go for it, or you might have even got the first down on that last play, even with the sack. So, really, really frustrating.
I thought it was really a really clever play for them. When they're backed up at the 1, they try to get the defense to jump. So that's what Spence, they were just trying to get them to jump. I thought that was a really nice play, because what are you going to go back 2-3 inches?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But they get out of that, and you're right. A couple penalties really hurt us. And then that sack happened. Zach Allen to Josh Allen. Allen on Allen. Like, we haven't heard that in a while, which is the linebacker for usually the Jaguars we used to hear about. But that was a showstopper there. But again, they flipped the field, Brett, and they're able to punt the ball and give the ball at let's see here. We end up giving it to them. Punted to the 15-yard line, no gain. Matt Collins with a massive hit. Right. Matt Collins, I think, got penalized on that as well. What'd you think of that call?
Yeah, I don't think that was the play that he got penalized on, actually, because it was on a catch that he had.
Yeah,
and he was going over the top of the defender and on an offensive drive, and that's when you saw that penalty. Because I remember Spencer Brown coming over to him and kind of giving him a little slap on the head, and he was smiling on that play. So that was not the play, but it was a big hit.
Hold on. I gotta say, 4th and 8. Martin punts to the Denver 15. Mims to the Denver 15. Matt Collins for no gain. Matt Collins penalty on Mims. You're right. So Mims got the unnecessary roughness because was it funny? Was it like Reed?
Yeah, he punched Reed Ferguson or something. Yeah,
right. I didn't even think Reed was being that bad, but he gets up, he's frustrated, and he gets the penalty. So good call, Brett. You're right. Go ahead, continue, sir.
Yeah, that was just an excellent special teams play. And listen, I'm going to say this about Matt Collins. He's weird. let's all put it out there on the tables. He's weird, but
I love
listen,
him.
this guy is what Buffalo is all about. When you're unorthodox and maybe you're just out there, you get to be yourself. And that Buffalo does a great job of letting him be himself. And I respect the team to be able to do that. And he brings out the best in Buffalo with being able to block, number one. Also getting involved in the passing game is kind of the difference between having Mac versus Trent Sherfield last year. You're seeing the difference with a guy that can create some mismatches on offense, get involved on special teams, and also make some plays with his just his blocking, and even with playing unselfish football. That's what I love about him.
Yeah, so they get the ball at the 8-yard line after that penalty, and they proceed to go on an 8-play, 60-yard drive, taking up a minute and 52, and they're going for the tying field goal. And it was a 50-yard field goal, but Will Lutz is usually pretty clutch, and so Sean get a little lucky. He dings it off the right post, and it doesn't go in. But how you feeling at this point? Because we got a little lucky. Let's say he makes that, you're going into the halftime at 10-10. But at this point, it's 10-7. How you feeling?
Yeah, I was happy. I was actually watching the game. You guys know it was my mom and my aunt's 70th birthday 2 days ago. My other aunt turned 76 today, so we had a big party for them. And I was watching at the TV at the place, and my cousins some of them were watching, and I was like, oh, he's got to miss this. He's got to miss this. And then looked like it was going in, and it hit the pole, and I was like, oof. All right. Well, 10-7, we got the lead. It wasn't a horrible half. We did move the ball pretty well. I mean, we only had, I think, 3 possessions in the first half, 3 or 4, and we moved the ball quite well on all of them. And even that one at the 1, it was just really a couple penalties and that sack. But when we went from the 1 all the way down, and it looked like it was a promising drive, and I was just thinking, well, defense looked pretty good minus that one play. Offense looked good. So let's just see what the second half brings. And, luckily for us, we got the ball back. So I was like, I think we'll be fine. You want to see dominant, play in the first half. But all that matters is we had the lead. We're in control. We got the ball first with the lead. So really we can dictate and write the story for it. We don't have to hope for people to mess up or, play from behind. And that's where we're most comfortable. And we were dominating time of possession. And it was an awesome. I know you're going to get into the next drive, but it was an awesome second half. And the first half was just a gritty battle and good in the trenches.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I was feeling good. Bills were getting the ball after halftime, and the way we had been dominating with the old line, you're thinking, let's go down, let's score a touchdown. Bills go on an 8-play, 55-yard drive, take up 5 minutes. And by the way, guys, let me just give you this number right now. The Bills' time of possession was 41 minutes, 43 seconds compared to the Broncos' 18 minutes, 17 seconds. That's insane. But Brett, you got to be a little disappointed here. They go down. They get all the way down to the 6-yard line, and then on third down, Josh Allen is sacked by Jones. And then Bass comes in and makes the field goal. How are you feeling at that point? A little disappointed, of course, but because now it's still a game, right? It's 13-7 at that point. So talk to me about that drive, how you felt after that outcome. I think you're on mute, sir.
Yep, you're muted.
Is baby making some noise in the background? You got to mute it.
Baby's making some noise in the background, cheering on Nickel City Mafia.
Right. We're good with
I had to be quiet. I apologize. So, but no, I was honestly glad to just get points on that drive. Just try and come out of halftime and just get a little bit of edge on there and on the Denver Broncos. So I was glad to get some points there and move the ball down the field. Even though we didn't get 7, I was glad to get 3 and see what the defense could do. So it made it a 6-point game, and I felt like the momentum was towards us entering the second half, and I wanted to see what the Bills would do on defense, and they we'll find out. Actually, I won't spoil it.
Yeah, so Jessica, I mean, this is a problem, right? Me and my son, he was down there supporting the Bills, and I was supporting his Ravens yesterday. That's what we do. And now we talked about it after the game, and I'm like, and I have some Ravens friends in town. I'm like, maybe I'll ship you over to the Ravens friends so you can watch the game with them. He's like, come on, Dad. It's a good thing, Dad. No matter what, one of our teams is going to move on. I'm like, all right, I'll look at it that way. And I'll tell you what, Bills better. But if they don't, no matter who comes out of that game, they better take the Chiefs down. If the Chiefs aren't taken down by the Texans look actually a little promising today. But yeah,
Maybe.
Jessica, it definitely presents a problem.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, Mike. I was
Yeah.
thinking about it when Brett was talking, thinking about that first half. Not that I thought that we weren't a superior team, but they do have a really fantastic defense, as that's what people were saying was going to keep it maybe an upset or a close game. So even though we were still moving the ball well, I was like, well, I mean, this is probably one of the most complete defenses in the playoffs. They were the third ranked points scored, points allowed defense. They had the most sacks, and they have a really good corner. So I was like, things are going well. It's just that red zone trip. The last couple plays just didn't really work out, and then that one where we got the field goal. I think we ran too many times consecutively before we passed to keep it going. And I was assuming, because of the promising drives in the first half, that we were going to break it open as long as we continued on the trajectory that we were. And again, even though we put up 31 points, they're still a very good defense, and the Bills offense should be very, very pleased with the outcome of that.
Yeah, it was kind of strength on strength, Sean. I mean, they were one of the best defenses in the red zone.
Yeah.
And then the Bills were like, I think they were saying second best on offense in the red zone. So strength on strength, and you can see why they might have been able to keep us out, or they were able to keep us out of the end zone early on. So no shame. We're that, like you said, this was a very good defense, very good defense. But I don't know about you guys. As the game went on and on, I'm thinking, oh my God, this O line is overmatching them. They just can't handle it.
It was amazing.
It was beautiful. So
I
the
love
Bills
that.
go up 13-7, Brett. And the kickoff, again, it's a close game, but this is kind of where it switched on the defense.
Yeah.
Three and out by the Broncos. And so whatever McDermott and Babbage said to the team, whatever changes they made, adjustments, seem to work here. And you're going to see a theme going forward. So that was a big stop right there, Brett.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And to be able to get the ball back to the MVP is the biggest thing. You're able to put points on the board and win the time of possession battle. That's one of the things that I was really happy about with the Buffalo Bills.
So it's 13-7, Brett, right? The Bills get
Yep.
the ball after the punt, and they start at their 27-yard line.
Right.
And they go on a 9-play, 73-yard drive, 5.5 minutes. And this is where it changed. This was a huge play on this drive. It was 4th and 1 at the Denver 24. Now, first of all, I forget who I'm supposed to go to here, but I'll go to you, Brett. First of all, I'm thinking tush push, maybe tush push again. But I think they lined up in shotgun, if I'm correct. Yes,
Right.
they did. 4th and 1 shotgun. Josh Allen drops back, and everyone seems covered. And I'll let you talk about this play. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, what started off? I mean, Josh Allen dropping back looks like he doesn't have an opportunity to throw the ball deep down the field. And all of a sudden, he finds a receiver that I didn't imagine would be a receiver, but this guy has done a wonderful job in 3rd and 4th down conversions. And Ty Johnson, finding him for one of the best plays that I've seen by a running back making a grab on a touchdown. Ball was a little bit underthrown, but it was put in a position where only the running back could make the play. Ty Johnson going down to his knees, gets the catch, and puts it in the end zone for 6 points, putting the Bills up in the game, making it 19-7, and with a chance to go for a 2-point conversion and make it a 2-possession game.
Yeah, so they go for the 2 and they get it, and they're up at that point 21-7. But Sean, on that play, on that 4th down play, once again, the O-line steps up and gives Josh enough time. Josh has to roll a little bit to the right, but damn, your line is just cruising.
Yeah, they really stepped up. I think obviously they're very talented and good in the first place, but I think they like when people say stuff like, "Oh, this is the best defensive line," or "This is the best defensive line as far as sacks go." I think they like to hear that kind of thing because they like the challenge and the opportunity to prove that they're a really good unit. And again, week after week, you guys, I'm pretty sure, watch my stuff. I know Brett says he does, but he probably doesn't. He likes to lie to me. But you see it growth, and you see how well they work together as a unit. They're one vein. It seems they always know what to do. When there's a stunt or a twist, they know exactly what to do. There's a blitzer coming, they know exactly what to do. They're so well coached and technically sound and just very good. And you see it week in and week out. And I knew, they're going to lose a couple reps. Like when Edwards got beat bad, that was the only time he got beat bad though. And, of course you don't want to see it. That was the first time I think Allen's been sacked in like 6 weeks, but I was expecting a couple losses, a couple lost reps. And overall, I mean, Allen threw 26 times. I thought they did outstanding. I thought they ran the ball well. And that's what you're going to want when you go played against a great defense. They got to go against Baltimore. And then if you beat them, you got to go against hopefully the Texans, but Kansas City, most likely. They got a great defensive line. We know that. And then probably Philadelphia or the Lions if you somehow make it to the Super Bowl. So you're going to have to continuously play outstanding talent. And I think they're up for that challenge. And if we can continue that and take care of the football, that's how you're going to win these football games. We can run. We prove that. We can pass. We can play defense. So let's just keep playing some good football like this. You don't want to be like the Chargers and only have 3 picks all year and then throw 4 in your playoff game.
Yeah.
That's how you lose football games.
RX Flyfish, I want to go back to your comment here, how insane this was. Because, again, not only did the O-line give Josh Allen enough time, but did you see on the replay where Ty Johnson had to come from? He was completely on the left side of the field, right? Thinks he's out of the play. Of course, you're never out of the play when Josh Allen scrambles. And then Josh makes a signal and throws the ball to the right of the end zone. So he had to come across a long way to make that play. I got to tell you, that was close, man. That was so close. I'm like, I don't know about you guys, so I'm thinking if they had ruled that incomplete, I don't think they could have overruled it. And I think the other way around, they ruled it complete. Can't overturn that. But man, fantastic play. And like you said, Brett, Ty Johnson has just been sneaky good out of the backfield. The dude can catch. The dude can run. I hope Ray Davis is okay because that 3-headed monster in the backfield has been fantastic. I love it.
This was actually the drive that Ray Davis got hurt on. So at the beginning of the drive, you saw that play where Josh Allen was trying to float the ball over to him. The unnecessary roughness hit that you saw on Ray Davis. So maybe it was beneficial for the Bills, even though you don't want an injury, obviously. But for Ray Davis to get injured, maybe he would have been in on that play. You don't know necessarily the formation and who was going to be in on that play, whether it was going to be Ty Johnson or Ray Davis. Maybe he was in and he wouldn't have been in the position to make that catch. So it benefited the Bills at the end of the drive, and they were able to put 6 points on the board, actually put 8 points on the board with the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I think the craziest part of that catch, though, is where he caught it, and he had to – I don't even think he realized it, but as he caught it and his thigh hit the ground, he lifted his toes up and his feet up so they wouldn't touch out of bounds before he got his leg down. And if the feet slid and hit out of bounds before they lifted up and he caught it, it would have been out of bounds. But he must have had the wherewithal. I don't know if he did it by accident, but as he caught it, he picked his feet up enough where they wouldn't touch out of bounds. His thigh hit. He had control. The ball moved a little bit, but it didn't hit the ground. It's allowed to move a little bit as long as you keep the ball in your hand. And then it was a touchdown, and it was insane. It was really, really tough for anyone to catch, let alone a third-string running back.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only negative thing on that drive, of course, was not the only thing. The big thing negative was the Ray Davis getting hurt. And it didn't need to happen. I mean, Josh Allen definitely overthrew him. And you could tell that Josh was upset about that immediately because he was pretty much wide open. Josh threw a little bit too far. And then the bad hit on the from the DB. Because it was at that point, it was second and third at the Bills' 38-yard line when that happened. So it gave us a first down at the Denver 47, and then from there on out, what happened there with the nice pass, 24-yard touchdown to Ty Johnson. So Bills go for the 2 points to get it, 21-7, and again they kick off. Defense they've made adjustments now. Guess what? 3 plays, -1 yard for 2 minutes, and they have to punt. Denver gets out to the 29-yard line, and they have to punt from there. So, Sean, what do you think? I don't know. What was the difference? Like, how were the Bills so successful? How was it that Bo Nixon comes out, 5 plays, takes it right down the field from us, and then things changed big time, and here we are getting them 3 and out. What were you seeing? And I know they had a spy there. No, Milano was spying there for most of the game. But talk to me, man. What changes did we make on that defense?
Yeah, they spied a little bit with Milano. We were able to stop the run well, so that took that away. There was times where we were bringing delayed safety blitz. There was times where we blitzed the defensive back in between a tackle and the end. So then the defensive end and the tackle had the guy had to make a choice. Oh, do I pick up the safety or get the lineman? And then it freed up the defensive lineman to get some pressure or get a hit or what have you. And it was just a little bit of everything. And I think it was mainly because they have a great offensive line too. So it was hard to just get home with 4. And you wanted to put a little bit of pressure on the rookie quarterback because as much as he is a rookie, he does have confidence and he's a good thrower of the football. And I compare the Broncos to like the 2019 Bills as well. They're a little bit above expectation, not quite ready to beat a team like Buffalo in the playoffs, but a lot of potential for them going forward. Great coach and, again, great offensive line. Run game, got to get a little bit better, but they were able to pass the ball. They got some weapons, but we tried everything just to stymie them, and it worked out. You throw a lot of stuff at a rookie, no matter how smart they are, it's going to be difficult. That's why we have a lot of success versus rookie quarterbacks. And yeah, I thought they did an awesome job. Could have got a little bit more pressure, but we did enough to force some bad throws. They had a couple drops too, which helped us obviously. But at the end of the day, you need that kind of stuff in the playoffs. So when we played the Rams, they didn't drop the ball. They didn't get penalties. They didn't miss tackles. They didn't do nothing wrong. And sometimes when you play teams, you have to whoever makes the most mistakes, and we capitalized off of that. And I thought coverage for the most part was pretty good. Christian Benford kind of got beat a couple times, but again, that's corners like offensive line. You're not going to win every time. But overall, I thought this defense really took it personal that people thought that they were the reason why we would lose football games or the reason why we get out in the playoffs. 7 points in a playoff game, I don't care who you're playing. It's really good.
Yeah, 100%. So, Brett, I mean, on that punt, Denver kicks from their 29, 4th and 11, and standing in for Codrington, who was injured and out this game, our normal punt returner. Guess what? Khalil Shakir, pinball. Yes, pinball. You see why I call him pinball. Dude bounces off people constantly. I don't know how he is able to maintain his balance. It's absolutely fantastic to see. But he goes to the Buffalo 41 for a 23-yard return. It's good to have him, man. Not only is he one of our top receivers, but, man, did he stand in or stand up at that point in time on the kick returns today.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on here. So next, that's the Bills up, right? Bills have first down at the Buffalo 41. It is, again, 2 plays later. Actually, it was 3 plays later. Josh Allen goes deep for our hidden gem. Brett, they finally released the Kraken, right? Curtis Samuel, 55-yard, beautiful touchdown. Where's he been? And I hope, I hear these things like teams are holding back. They're not showing their playbook. And I used to say that's bull, kind of now believe it.
Yeah.
But here you go. And we still have another Kraken to release. That's Amari Cooper. I think Amari
Yeah.
Cooper was did a great job keeping Pat Surtain away from everybody else. But beautiful play here, man. It's good to see Samuel back, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is. And to see him not only make this play, but go along the sideline and make defenders miss. That's the one thing I loved about that play was 3 defenders he made miss. And it was just an excellent route. Number one, getting open, running across the field, pretty much through the middle of the field, going from one side of the field to the other, getting open, and then Josh Allen laying the throw out, putting it where to his receiver and trusting him to get into the end zone. Curtis did a great job making 2 defenders miss along that sideline and then cutting into the middle of the field, and you saw another defender completely whiff on him and miss a tackle, and Samuel was able to get into the end zone. But not only this play, but for him to lead the Bills in terms of receiving yardage, that's an incredible sign for somebody that's trying to get involved in this offense. And maybe it gives Joe Brady a little bit of a relief and puts him more into the lineup.
Yeah, I love that. So Buffalo goes up 27. It's pretty much a done deal, right? You're just wondering if you're a better, if they're gonna be able to cover the spread and not let the Broncos get back a couple ugly touchdowns at the end, but they don't. The Broncos get the kickoff. They go 8 plays, 51 yards, 3 minutes and 17 seconds. And the Bills come up with a big 4th down stop. 4th and 2 at the Buffalo 14. And guess who makes the play? Cam Lewis. Where you at, Check Reviewer? Cam Lewis on 4th and 2 makes the tackle. I think he got a little dinged up at that point too. A lot of guys were getting these.
He tackled with his head instead of his body.
Yeah, exactly. So I haven't heard. I think he got up. We didn't even talk about this.
Yeah, I think he went back in.
We're going to talk about Taron Johnson in a little bit here, but it was a great play. Now, if I'm Sean Payton, when that guy got the ball, when they threw it to him, it felt like he was just going to go to the sideline. And I'm like, I'd be pissed as a coach. I'm like, you got to turn it up the field and fight your booty off and get those 2 yards. But he doesn't. Cam Lewis does. And Sean, I mean, let's talk about Taron Johnson. So Taron Johnson gets injured earlier in the game. And dude, when they show the replay there, I'm thinking this guy's probably done for the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely a couple inches shorter, but probably just go to the chiropractor and he'll be good to go. The fact that he came back in, that's pretty. Hopefully nothing was wrong, because that'd be dumb, because he literally got his neck smushed down to no neck status. But he went in and played like he wasn't concussed. So I like to think that he trusts his own self and to not put himself in danger like that. But he went out and played, and it's tough when these guys they throw away technique when they get to that level. They just like, oh, let me just throw my head at you and try to hit you in the head with my shoulder and all this stuff. And they wonder why they always get hurt all the time. That's because you don't do the proper, because you're above everything, because you're a pro now. So you're just, oh, let me just hit this guy any way I can. Now, in his defense, the running back also lowered his head as low as he could, and they just collided. But he did make the play. So it reminded me of what's his name, that running back we had for like three games last year. He had like a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1, and he got the yard, but he like broke his neck. He was from the Patriots.
Oh, Damian Harris.
Yeah, Damian Harris. He still got the yard even though he hurt himself. But yeah, it was nice to see him get back out there. It's always scary, especially when it's a head or neck injury. And glad he came back. Cam Lewis, I think he got back up. But man, if all you had to do was put your shoulder across the body, and you would have made the same play. You wouldn't have got any more yardage. But you went with your head. You made the play, but he knew from the beginning. He touched his head. He's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But he should be fine. And if he's not, I'm sure Truck Reviewer will feel some solace in knowing he won't play next week. But I know Michael will be upset, and that'll probably be why the Bills don't get it done if Cam Lewis isn't out there.
Cam Lewis is going to get some award. I don't know what award he's going to get, but he's going to get some award when this is all said and done. Hopefully a Super Bowl trophy he's going to share with the team, but he'll get another award just for me. So, Sean, the Bills take over. It is 28-7. Again, game's pretty much over. And the Bills again show their dominance, starting at the 14. And you would think they're just going to go in run mode, but they were still mixing and matching with the run and the passing. They go on a 14 play, 70-yard drive, almost 7 minutes, kick a field goal, 31-7. Just incredible drive to kind of just really put a stamp on it right
Yeah.
at the end. Just emphasize just how good this old line and this offense is.
Yeah, it was cool. Putting up 30 points again on a great defense. And the last couple minutes, we got to put the backups in. Mitch Trubisky got some playoff snaps. Van Pran got some playoff snaps. And anytime you can do that in the playoffs, it's awesome. And it would have been nice if we could have done it a little bit sooner, maybe get close to a whole quarter off going into a big game. But beggars can't be choosers, and getting the win was important. We really showed. Yeah, I know it's a 2 versus a 7, but we handled business. We were 8-point favorites or whatever it was. People doubted us. I'm not just saying it because I'm a Bills fan, but I never heard so many people say, "Oh, I think this 7 seed is going to upset this 2 seed." I really feel strongly about it. I think I've probably seen maybe 6 or 7 different podcasts or outlets of not just people like us, but actually people that are on TV shows and stuff saying, "Oh, I think Denver's going to be the upset this week," or "Don't be surprised if Denver wins," or "Don't do this if Denver wins." I'm just like, really? What have we done all year to show that we're not earning or deserving of the 2 seed and to win at home in a playoff game against a rookie quarterback? And now that we won, everyone's going to say, "Well, he was a rookie quarterback. It was the Broncos. You should have won." Well, then don't say that we're going to get upset. Then you either have to give us credit or just from the beginning say that we should have won that game by however much we won it by 24. Yeah, overall, fantastic blocking, pass block, run block. The receivers did a great job. Josh did a great job. Missed a couple throws, but 20 for 26 in a playoff game, 272 yards, 46 rushing yards. Did his thing today, and we're going to need him next week. We're going to need his defense next week too. So hopefully we get it done.
Yeah, so I think the media, I've kind of figured them out, Sean, like the bigger channels are the bigger, like the first things first and first take. I think they kind of go into their show and saying, "Hey, I'll be the one. I'll be the sacrificial lamb that'll say it's going to be upset alert Broncos," because they got to have somebody saying that, right? When I was watching, was it? At the pregame show, there's like 3 guys that took the Bills, and then one of them, of course, upset alert Broncos. I think are going to take this down. I think they just divvied up. It's kind of like me, you, and Brett coming on here and just saying, "Brett, you played the devil's advocate today, so that we're not looking very biased." But I don't even. But I heard what you're saying.
The main reason for me is like there's other teams that could get upset, right? Like the Eagles could have got upset. The Ravens could have got upset. The Chargers did technically get upset. Why was everyone so adamant on picking Buffalo to be the team to lose? And it was, it's funny because after all these years of being a great team, we still don't have that benefit of the doubt or the respect to, even to just not get thrown out there as an upset. And I don't understand why. I'm sure we'll hear about it this week too. We're like 1-point favorites, and they'll say, "Oh, I think the Ravens will pull off the upset," or whatever. Should the Bills even be favorited? And it's just never going to end. But at the end of the day, we got the win, and people are going to say stuff regardless. So,
yeah. So anyhow, just to wrap it up, it's 31-7. The Broncos get the ball back, 4 plays and out. They're donezo. And then the Bills just ended 5 plays later, 3.5 minutes and end the game. So great game. I want to throw some of the numbers out here. Everything's just really, really good for the Bills. First downs, Buffalo at 26-13. I mentioned this earlier in the show. They dominated on the time of possession. This is going to be important next week. We're just going to want to do those similar type of drives, long, sustained drives, ending in touchdowns and points. 41 minutes they had the ball, 41 and 43 seconds compared to 18 minutes and 17 seconds for the Broncos. I think the only thing you would argue is like we got to clean up those penalties. Buffalo had 7 for 45 yards, whereas the Broncos just had 3. And you kind of went into the stats here. Let's start with that real quick. So Josh Allen, having a fantastic game. 20 of 26, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. They did get to him 2 times, but you expect that with that defense that was the top ranked as far as sacks goes. Allen's QBR rating 87.8. That's elite. His quarterback rating was 135.4. Sean, so beautiful. And then Brett Bonix, he threw for 13 and 22, 144, 1 touchdown. But again, after that first drive, things change, man. Things change, and you're thinking, oh man, I'm thinking at first it's going to have to be a 35, 30 something game, the way they came out. But great job by the defense to kind of shut it all down. Why don't you talk about James Cook, man? I mean, he really did cook.
Yeah, for him to come out of the game and just do a wonderful job. He looked great. I think he finished with like 120 yards, I believe, on I want to say 23 carries, if that's correct, like 5.2 average.
Yep.
So, but looked incredible. And for him to get a little bit of a break in the game and go to the sidelines and try and keep his legs fresh, that's an incredible sign that he's going to continue on this playoff run and make big plays for the team. And why not having an elite running back in the playoffs is going to be important, especially in Buffalo with the conditions the way that they could be.
Yeah, I agree. And then let's talk about this receiving group here. So Curtis Samuel, you mentioned it earlier. He was the leading receiver as far as yards go. He was targeted 3 times, caught all 3 of them, 68 yards and a touchdown. Shakira, our guy Shakira. 6 targets, 6 receptions for 61 yards. A lot of 6s there, and usually not a good thing. Let's get off those 3 6s. Dalton Kincaid, 3 targets, caught all 3 of them, 47 yards. Knox had a nice couple nice plays, right? He caught 2 for 38 on 3 targets. And then Ty Johnson, 2 for 26 with that 1 big touchdown. Mac Hollins got into the action. I think this is where it happened on Mac, where he got that penalty, right? He makes that catch, almost goes into the end zone, gets tackled short, and then comes up just I don't know what he just stood up and walked away from the guy. Is that really taunting?
I think they thought he was like stepping on him, but what really happened was Surtain like grabbed his foot because he was pissed off, and they made it seem like it was on Mac Hollins. I don't know if Brett saw a different way. That's
so what I saw, number one, is Mac is staring this guy down, and he's stepping over the defender and kind of aggressively stomping is what I saw. So listen, Mac knew damn well what he was doing. He was walking over the defender, and it wasn't really a walk. It was more of a, okay, I'm going to show you that, we're going to stomp all over the top of you. Get the penalty, don't get me wrong, but there was some missed calls in the game. I'm not going to give Bill Vinovich, I want to say it's Bill Vinovich, the credit for missing some calls. There was one play. Clearly he missed a hold on Dalton Kincaid on that play in the end zone. But this is definitely the right call, in my opinion. You got to take control of the game. And I felt like Bill Vinovich did a very good job of taking control and going to the sidelines and going over to Josh Allen and admitting that they missed a call. That takes some – I'm going to say it right now because this is a rush hour. We can say it a little bit. It takes some balls to do because I don't know in that situation if I was a referee, if I would go over to Josh Allen and say, hey, listen, I missed a call against you. I'm really sorry, buddy. I'm glad they got the calls right.
That was cool. So Jessica, I mean, you're an all uppercase walked over him. Are you saying walked over him is like that's a penalty? Or walked over him to get away from him and that shouldn't have been a penalty? You're coming in with the uppercase. I want to know what you're thinking there. Guys, why am I thinking Keon Coleman had more than 1 reception for 5 yards?
Well, he had the 2-point conversion.
And then they threw the fade to him, and
should have been called penalty. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I'm thinking he had a bigger play.
Well, the 2-point conversion doesn't count as a catch or anything for him, I guess. So, but yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking no. The play I'm thinking of, it was Curtis Samuel. My bad. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Keon made the play, and like Brett said, he got literally both his arms held down, and the ref was staring at him and didn't call. So
Yeah.
he didn't even have a chance to go up and get it.
I think Keon, if you look back at the all 22, Sean, I'm going to say this. I think he kind of tried to sell it a little bit too much, and that's why he didn't get the call. If he didn't try and sell it as much, he probably would have gotten the call.
True.
Yeah.
I just think like he literally wasn't even able to get his arm. I know what you're saying. Like he did kind of sell it, but he was holding them. So I don't know. Like the fact he couldn't even lift his arms up, that should have been an indication. But I think he would have had the advantage on that if he was able to get his arms up.
He could have. Trust me, he could have. He was trying to sell the play. I'm not discrediting what you're saying, Sean. I mean, I know. I'm just saying you got to watch the all 22 on it because they kind of showed it from a really good angle on the CBS broadcast of where he was trying to kind of like sell it, and he actually tucked his arms underneath the defender in order to try and sell that. So it's a good play by Keon to kind of play that basketball role and see if you can draw the penalty. I say it's a basketball play in that situation. Did a good job trying to sell the penalty, but he didn't get the call because of what he was doing in that play.
Yeah, so Jessica comes back and says, walked over his head in an extremely disrespectful way. Yeah, I can see that. So not going to disagree with you there. And she says it was actually a great penalty to take, allowed the Bills to have more yards to go and burn more time. So definitely good stuff there. So let's go over to let's get these 2K subs. We've been kind of staled a little over at 1,900. We're trying to get our way to 2,000 subs. So smash that like button, drop a nickel, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and then share the podcast. I want to get more Bills fans joining us every show. Let's go to the defense. Defense again after that first series really buttoned everything up. Terrell Bernard was the leading tackler with 6. He had a tackle for loss. Thought Milano played a pretty good game. He was playing spy on Bo Nix and made a great play on Bo. Thought Bo was going to be able to scramble to the outside, and Milano chased him down. Great play. Taron Johnson with 5 tackles.
One thing I do want to say, Mike, real quick is as the playoffs drew closer and closer, to see the Bills sit Matt Milano down on the last game of the year, it kind of showed that the Bills were playing their cards and they knew that he was healthy, he was back to normal, and with getting very limited snaps throughout the season, they trusted in him. And listen, he played every single snap in this game and did a wonderful job.
Yeah, I see Weston. Weston, what do you mean the Bills did you a favor? Did you have some type of bet going on or what? Because, I guess where you can, either way, your team's playing, they're playing the Texans. So what did you do? Did you have a bet or something? Oh, eliminated your most hated team. Gotcha. You can't stand the Broncos. Sacks on the day. Greg Rousseau thought he had a pretty solid day himself. Sean, remember we were talking about some of the adjustments that were made, and maybe it felt like the Bills weren't getting the pressure you expected, but weren't they also having to worry about Bo Nix? So they're trying to keep containment as well on Bo.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But overall, that I think the whole defense did a great job, and especially the first play of the game, Greg Rousseau, he shook off a great right tackle on a toss, or it was a second play, and got a tackle for loss and set us up for a good 3rd and 8. So these guys they came to play, stopped the run well. Would Bo have 100 and something passing yards? So minus that one, like I'm telling you, minus that one big play that it was more of a blip than that us being bad. They didn't do anything. Barely got. They were 2 for 9 on 3rd down. I think you said 1 for 3 on 4th down. It was just a vintage Bills defensive game and offensive game, of course, but that was a defense that we were waiting for. That was kind of the playoff defense we need, and I'm not expecting to only give up 7 points the rest of the way, but if you could play with that type of energy and aggression, I think will be good. And it's funny, my mom, she doesn't know any really information about football. She's watched me play, and she watches sports that I played, and just it supports me, and she doesn't really know the ins and outs. But when we went up, I think it was when we went up 20-7, and we were kind of playing soft zone prevent type stuff. She was like, "Why are they doing that? Like, why don't they just go after it all the time? Why don't they just play aggressive?" And I said, "Well, they call it bend don't break, and they're trying to waste time. But now they're moving the ball. They already got down to the 10 in 2 minutes from it just when Bo had a couple of big runs." And I was like, well, if my mom says that and doesn't even know what plays are, she doesn't understand any of that. If she's wondering why they're not playing tough the entire game and they're just playing back a little bit, then I think it's a good concern, because that's how people get back in the game. If you just keep your foot on the gas no matter what, and if you get beat being aggressive, oh well, it happens.
Yeah. I hear you. I think in our group chat even said that. I mean, I really dislike this prevent because they're moving right down the field. Just to finish this up, Rousseau had a sack, and so did Milano. Milano got that sack, I think, when he was spying Bo Nix, and Bo tried to run the outside, and he got credit for the sack there. Bill's Bunker, good to see you out there, sir. I saw your video already, your reaction show, and I was thinking, and I put a comment out there. I mean, you do the great job on that, but I'm thinking, what do? You go right to your car and do the editing? Because I know you're in Canada. You got to get home. It seems like you're able to put that film up right pretty darn quick. So very impressive. Good to see you out there again, doing what you do best out there. It's good stuff.
This is a good comment too,
Yeah,
Mike.
bring it up.
He said, when we send Hamlin on a blitz, yeah, I really, he's not like powerful. So like, I think if you blitz wrap, he might get a little bit more of a chance, but giving up your safety to blitz him and not really do much, unless he was like a free runner, I think we probably maybe could have put someone else and maybe had Tyler Rapp do it, or even put, what's his name?
Cole Bishop.
Cole Bishop in there for that blitz. And but at the end of the day, it did enough to what we were supposed to do. And I'm sure a lot of people, they run the one high safety against the Ravens because of Derrick Henry. So maybe we'll see more of that, because it's all about, like Jessica said that one time, and we all agree, you want to get Henry, he starts north and south, you want to make him stop and have to adjust to go east and west, and that's how you can get him without him getting his speed going and his power. And if we're able to hit the gaps well, and even on run blitz, that's how you could take that away and maybe get them into situations where they're second and long, third and long, and we'll make some plays. You got to try something. You can't just sit back and let them do whatever they want.
Yeah, Bill's Bunker. I figured you had to be doing something to get it out there that fast. Yeah, good stuff there, Sean. I do want to say the only one I'm disappointed on defense. The only one is one of the highest paid players on defense, and that's Von Miller. You think he's going up against the team that started it all for him, where he was drafted, where he won a Super Bowl. He's like a god back there in Denver. They really love Von Miller. He registered nothing, not a sack, not a tackle, not a dang thing. So that would be the only guy that I was a little disappointed with today. I don't know about you guys.
He generated a couple of pressures. Wasn't able to get to the quarterback, though. But he had a good matchup against their right tackle, though.
Yeah, I thought he had a couple good plays. But, yeah, it wasn't outstanding, but it wasn't like the worst performance he's ever had. And he had a really good pressure on a spin move. He got his hand on Bo Nix, and he threw it away. But, like you said, he does get paid a lot. So hopefully he does more next week.
I need to see that sack stat go up a little bit. Strip sacks even better. But Chad, good to see you out there, sir. Join us a little late. You just getting home right now, or are you sneaking in lunchtime again to catch the show? Good to see you. So yeah, guys, great show. Let me see here. Tampa Bay just took the lead, 17-13. Got a good game going on there with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third. And then see here. Here he comes, Mr. Podger joining us, saying, "What's going on, boys? Huge win. Just got home. Holding little Reggie Gilliam Jr. as we speak." Oh, Jake, we talked about that. I mean, go for a better position that'll pay him more money, man. Come on. At least At least Brett's got it dialed in. He's going to take his
No.
little boy and make him an offensive tackle. Big
I
money.
never said an offensive tackle. Listen, my goal for Bennett is for him to be making all the kicks for the Buffalo Bills, putting a little bit less worry on us so that maybe he takes Tyler Bass's job and 15 years from now or 20 years from now, whatever the case may be. You never know. He could go to college at 14 or 13 years old and be there a couple of years and make it all happen. So I just want to see him on the Buffalo Bills in some type of role, leading this team to what will be consecutive Super Bowls for the next 15 to 20 years.
I hope you're not wishing him to be a kicker. Did I hear you say that? Kicking field goals?
Kicking field goals inside the swirling winds of the new Highmark Stadium. How incredible would that be for him to be making the game-winning kick in the Super Bowl?
Well, we know what it did to Scott Norwood after he missed the kick. So I wouldn't want to wish that on little Bennett. Please, let's go for the offensive tackle. You did mention Spencer Brown early on when you were talking about Bennett. So I'm sticking with the old
But to have somebody that's going to be the leading kicker in Bills history with the best accuracy in Bennett Michael McDurphy.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on.
We've got a lot to catch up with Ryan Lindell, though.
Yeah.
You're saying beat Ryan's record.
Jake, we did some numbers early on. Picard makes about $3 million for the Ravens, and I think Reggie. What'd you see his number at, Brett? Was it under $1 million? Gilliam?
Actually, I got it wrong. It's $2.3 million. He signed a 2-year, $4.6 million contract in 2022. Will be a free agent after the playoffs.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's not bad money. Don't get me wrong, but let's go for 10, 15 million for those offensive tackles. Come on now.
Yeah.
If you want him to be a big guy, Jake, I feel like offensive tackles is where you got to have him focus. He said, Brett, love the halftime show. Everyone go check out his official Bills Mafia baptism on the Go Bills podcast channel. Yep, we talked about it early on. Go check it out. It's absolutely beautiful. I was worried where he was going with this at first. I'm like, oh no, he's got a little baby in his hand. What's he gonna do? But he did it just perfect. Love it.
Thank you, guys.
Good to see you, Brett, is what Chad's saying. Yeah, Brett's been missing in action, just getting ready for the baby, and the baby's finally here. And man, I got to tell you what, that baby's less than 10 feet away from you?
Pretty much less than 10 feet away from me. Been quiet the whole entire time. I don't know if Hannah's feeding right now, so but she's done an incredible job of keeping him quiet. I mean, listen, we got the Bucks game on. He has some part of his family that's Bucks fans, and he's just doing incredible as somebody that's adjusting to the new life of being in the real world instead of being in his mom's stomach, and doing a wonderful job just creating some blessings and smiles on his parents' faces. And he has 7 grandparents. How incredible is that? 7 grandparents that love him so much and have been so supportive throughout the last 7 days now. And just, all of them on Monday morning, rushing to the hospital to be with us and be supportive. It's just such a blessing to have. And now I get to see his smiles, his laughs, and everything. He knows my voice. He knows my wife's voice now. It's just incredible. And he smiles every time he hears Daddy.
I love it. He's been being very well behaved during the show here. So yeah. Love that. Sank, this is a great question. And I'll throw it to you, Sean. And I would love this. We've talked about this multiple times during the year. And with Dorian Williams, who actually played extremely well this year, should we expect 3 linebacker looks with Dorian Williams next week? Or do you think McDermott would keep sticking with the nickel defense, especially after today's performance? Sean, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think they'll definitely do a little, not going to, dedicate the entire game to 3 linebackers, but definitely I'm assuming they will, just to give it a try. We have all 3 of those guys healthy, ready to go. We don't know how Taron's neck is going to feel. Maybe they'll do it in the event. We'll give him a little bit of a break on this series because, he banged up his neck last week, and we'll see. I think they should do it anyway, even if, Johnson's good, but it's just a different. And you're going to start seeing it when I do the Ed Oliver film this offseason. But when you look at a typical defense, your 4 defensive linemen have an assignment, and then your linebackers have assignments. If you have 2 linebackers, that's someone has to account for 2 different assignments, because you're not having 3 linebackers there because Taron Johnson's not playing as a linebacker corner. So that's why it's so easy to run on the nickel defense, because it's so much more easy to get through it, because one guy in any position has to make up for 2 different assignments. So I assume we'll try that, because not only do you want to stop Derrick Henry, and one thing the Steelers kept doing, and I guess it was their game plan, was instead of having the defensive ends contain to keep Lamar from running outside, they would just crash down and tackle the ball carrier, whether he had the ball or not. And that was really stupid, because all Lamar did was watch him. He pulled the ball out and ran the ball himself. They ran the ball. I think he ran the ball 6 times the first drive on his own. So you really want to keep your defensive ends, and don't expect your defensive ends to make all these plays, because you want them to curl around the outside, make Lamar have to go in. And if he tries to bounce outside, you're there ready to go. And then the interior guys can make plays, and then you can have that spy watching Lamar as well. And it'll be a good thing to try. And, let's see. I'm sure they'll go back to nickel a little bit, but nothing wrong with throwing a bunch of stuff at them that they didn't see the first time.
Yeah, I think, Sean, I think they come right out of the gate with the 3 linebackers. I mean, surprise them.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good
They
idea.
know the Bills typically play nickel. Get a couple stops early, maybe with that 3 linebacker, especially if Zay Flowers is out again, which he may be. So I
Oh,
definitely
really?
say, yeah. I think I saw someone in the Discord say it's usually a 2 to 4 week injury that he has, but you never know. So that's not official, but just somebody that I trust in the Discord. But again, no matter what, Brett, I'm saying come out of the gate with that 3 linebacker. Show them something they haven't seen before, and let's get a stop early. Let's get a couple stops early, because I don't feel there's going to be a ton of stops in this game. So
Yeah,
I'm saying you can get 2 or 3 stops on a team, and you can that could be the difference in this game.
absolutely. And just to, like you said, throw something out there that you haven't tried before. The last time I believe that we played a 4-3 base prior to going up against Derrick Henry was against the New England Patriots. So why not throw something out there? Maybe put in a extra safety back there, like a Cole Bishop or something like that as well. Throw some different looks at them and see what they can do.
Yeah. Weston got his merch. What about you, Chad? Did you get your shirt as well? And we got to see you sporting it. So they got their Nickel City Mafia merchandise.
Didn't get mine.
Didn't get yours yet?
Not yet. Been waiting.
What's going on here? What about you, Sean?
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh my gosh, Jake, let's get some shirts out to these guys. This should have been done a
I've
long
been
time ago. My
waiting and
apologies,
waiting.
guys.
Yeah, Jake's in dad mode right now. He's been missing. I don't know what he's doing. If he's trying to pull a Bill Belichick and try and switch teams, maybe go to a different channel or something like that. We'll see what's going on.
Let me put it this way, going back to next week. Everything has a weakness. You just have to find it. And I know you're not going to do this in the pros, but when I was a sophomore, we played this team that, and I mentioned it before, they ran the ball probably like 98% of the time. So we had a 7-man front. We had a 7-1-3. So the 3 backs, we had 1 linebacker and the 7. We had the 4 linemen, and then you had 3 people play, standing up, offset on the line a little bit. And we just ran that the entire time because we wanted to try to plug all the gaps, plug all the holes. Couldn't bounce outside. You blocked the inside, and they still got a little bit, but there's always an option or a thought, and just try to stop their best thing, because obviously, not that Lamar can't be a passer, but him and Henry running the ball is deadly. Him passing the ball, you have a better opportunity because he's the only one passing the football. And him and Henry running the football together, that's the place you don't want to be living at, because you saw what happened the first time. He ran the ball once for 80 yards and you got scared, and then it changed the whole entire game. But if you're stopping the run and you're forcing Lamar to beat you in the air, that's that's where you'd like to be, even though, again, he's a great quarterback, but he's more deadly on the ground, especially with Henry in the backfield, because you don't want to miss either of them. Lamar is the quickest athlete I've ever seen on the football field. He'll get right by you, and Henry will run you over. So, really, my thought would be do everything possible to sell out for the run. I don't care if they pass on you. Do everything you can to sell out for the run. And, if you can do that, put up some points. They might score still with passing the football. But I like especially if Zay Flowers doesn't play, Bateman still can separate. Isaiah Likely is a good target. Mark Andrews is heated up. But I would rather test have our secondary push past their limits than have them run the football over us with Lamar and Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Steve Noble coming and saying, just looking forward to seeing the Bills play the Ravens with T. Johnson, Bernard, and Milano. Unlike the game versus the Ravens in September. Yeah, not only that, they're in Buffalo too. I love that, right? We're going to make it loud. We're going to make it hard for Lamar to hear. And I think last game, was it not the first play that he took it to the house on us? Little pitch out to the right, and he took it to the house. We cannot have that happen.
We punted, and then we gave him the ball back, and it was an off tackle play, and he didn't even get touched.
Yeah, so cannot have that happen again.
I think we need to talk, Mike, and it's about time that people say that Allen's the best quarterback in Bills history. He's already passed Jim Kelly in postseason touchdown passes and total touchdowns 3 last years. Yeah, he went to 4 Super Bowls, but the stats aren't better than Josh's, and he didn't win a ring. So I think it's safe to say we can put Josh up there now, right?
No, we know stats don't mean a damn thing. Get me to the Super Bowl, all right? Get me to the Super Bowl. Don't disrespect my boy Jimbo.
Yeah, well, if he won one, I would have to agree.
Let me say this. There's no doubt that Josh Allen is probably one of the most athletic quarterbacks to ever play the game. No doubt about that. And he is he passed Jim, like I said, took most touchdowns, passing touchdowns?
Yeah, most total touchdowns in Bills history, and then most passing in the playoffs for the Bills.
Yeah, that's impressive. But I'm not ready to say it yet. Not ready to say it. I love Josh Allen, but boy, did I love and still love Jim Kelly.
Yeah, I can't even comment on that because I was born in '95. So you have to ask someone like you who saw both of them, play their entire career. Because of course I would be biased, and if I go on YouTube and watch, it's a little bit different. But you grew up in that and watched it, so Brett's dad, Jake's dad, they would have to be the ones to really comment on it. But me. All I know is, Josh Allen. It was funny. My one cousin today, we were talking about it, and she's like, yeah, the last time I was in 3rd grade when the Bills were in the last Super Bowl. And I said, well, I never witnessed one yet. So hopefully I get to.
I'll tell you, Jim did not have very good stats in the Super Bowls. Let's put it that way. Except for the first one, it was pretty decent. But yeah, please no trick plays with Josh Allen this time. Yeah. Sank, I remember that. We all remember that, right? The Bills were just about marching to get back in the game, right? And that was a big turning point. Then we come up with this trick play, strip sack. They hit Josh, almost injures his arm. He fumbles the ball. Big turn of events at that point because they were moving the ball. So no more trick plays. I agree. We don't need trick plays. We're too good of a team. Would you agree with that, Brett?
Absolutely. 100%. Listen, the trick plays, they've worked out in our favor a couple times this season. You saw the one play with Amari Cooper pitching it back to Josh Allen and Josh scoring the touchdown. Go back to the playoff in Houston where Josh Allen had that trick play where the pass was thrown to him and he scored. But also, you can live and die by the trick play. And yes, you should take some risks in the playoffs. This is one and done league where you have to make those plays, but sometimes you got to do it if it's smart and if it's there. And if you don't see that it's there, don't take that risk and don't do the play. So let's find out some of the disadvantages of the Ravens and let's capitalize on it. And that's what I have to say here.
Yeah. Jake saying good point here. Different eras too between Kelly and Allen. Very hard to compare, but appreciate the greatness of both. Very well said. So, guys, I mean, can't wait. We're going to get into, we might have multiple shows this week. I know Jake and I will be on Wednesday rush hour talking about the preview of this upcoming game. Now that Brett's back, hopefully we can see I think we heard that we're going to be playing 6:30 Eastern on Sunday. That's when our game goes.
Oh,
Right?
they already came out. I didn't know they had the.
Yeah, I saw Jake put that out there.
They go to be 8:30, not 9:30.
I see him say 6:30. So Jake, correct me if I'm wrong. What's the time? What do we got? What are we playing on Sunday? I saw him throw a time out there.
Yeah, there's 2 games. I think it's like both Saturday and Sundays, 4 and 8:30, 4:30 and 8, just like it was last Saturday. I don't think it's at 6:30. Could be wrong though.
Jessica, we can't have you leave yet. You got to throw out your game ball, right? Brett's asking that we do game ball, so let's go around the horn here. And I want to hear everyone in the chat throw out their game balls for this game, and then hopefully we'll see you guys on the shows. We'll have one Wednesday for sure. Ruthless is on Saturday, and we're probably going to try to fit one other one in. We'll see how that works out. But all right, let's go around the horn real quick, Brett. Since you asked for it, you got that football in your hand. What have you been doing? Playing catch with little Bennett on the side, throwing it against his crib constantly, letting him get a feel for that?
Pretty much. I mean, just trying to annoy him. I'm going to go last with my game ball, if you don't mind.
All right, let's go to Sean for game ball, sir.
Yeah, obviously the O-line as a unit, and why not Curtis Samuel?
Oh, dude, you stole man. I was going to take him, but yes, Curtis
I'll pick a different one then. So how about I'll say Greg Rousseau on defense. I thought he started the game and made a couple good plays. Started the game well and made a couple good plays.
Well, I love Curtis Samuel, but Brett, Ty Johnson's got to be mentioned. So I don't know if you're going to take him, but Ty Johnson's got to get mentioned for that great play. So game ball to them as well. Obviously, I think it's by default. Do we just say by default Josh Allen always gets a game ball? We don't really need to say his name, do we?
Absolutely.
We always have one reserved. He'll always get one. Now we're divvying up the rest of them. So Brett, you wanted to go last? Who's the game ball for you?
Well, for me, listen, there's many players on the Buffalo Bills that deserve a game ball. I'm going to give my game ball to Curtis Samuel. I felt like he had a very good game here. He put up some good numbers. The 55-yard touchdown pass from Josh Allen was incredible for him to be able to out-defend some other players on the Denver Broncos. Looked great there. Just to be able to put 3 defenders out there on the field, make them miss. But I'm going to have a little bit of a special game ball, if you don't mind, if I take a moment real quick and grab Mr. Bennett Michael real fast. I have a special game ball.
I hope he's awake.
Well, while you're doing that, we got to say.
He's right here. Don't worry. I'm grabbing him right now.
There he is.
I have a special game ball.
Where's his Bills blanket? He should be wrapped in a Bills blanket.
He does have his Bills blanket, but he's actually smiling here and happy as can be. I'm going to give a special game ball to my son for his first win.
He's undefeated being alive. So
he's undefeated being alive. He is 12-1 since I found out that I was going to be a dad. 12-1.
Lift him up a little bit, bro. Let's see his face. Let's see his cute little face, man.
See if we can get his face in the air.
Look at him. Look at him. Oh, my goodness.
Doing so well so far. My wife is just ecstatic. I woke her up from a nap on accident. I apologize, Hannah. So I might get in a little bit of trouble in a couple minutes, and she's probably going to kick my butt because she's got like 1 hour of sleep the past couple of nights. So my son has his mouth open right now and is just so incredible. He's such a blessing and can't believe he's really here. So I'm going to give a game ball to my son. First game ball that I want to give out is to him because he is such a blessing to me. And he's going to put us on the run to get to the playoffs or get to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. And we're going to go on a stretch here. Let's run the table. Let's do it for Bennett. And he smashed the table earlier. We're going to smash some more tables in Niagara Square later on. And just under, I think it's 32 days till the Super Bowl. Let's run the table and let's get it done.
Yeah, let's go, Bennett. Bring it for us. Be our lucky, that luck that we need. A little bit of luck. Everyone needs a little luck. Jessica says she thinks he's the next pro tennis player. Brett, I mean, followed in daddy's steps. Dad didn't get to the pros, but maybe with your coaching, Mr. Bennett could get there.
there's some good coaches out there, that some father-son duos that have made it through. I don't know if any of them have actually won a major, but we do have the Australian Open going on right now, and I know the favorite right now is Carlos Alcaraz to win it. Maybe Bennett can give him a little bit of a run for his money when he's at the end of his career, kind of like how Nadal and Federer back in the day, they had some success, and then you saw the young guns come out. I got a little bit of a young gun here where I'm going to try and teach him early on. Got his little mini racket ready to go, and just a couple of months, I'm going to show him how to play a little bit of tennis around the house.
Love it. What a great memory. Years from now, you're going to be able to show Bennett on the podcast. You're going to be look, Bennett, I had you on this podcast. Check you out. He's going to be like, Dad, I can't believe you embarrassed me like that.
I got a little bit of that Lion King kind of view. One day.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you do the Lion King, you got to do this, my friend. And don't do that because Hannah will get upset. And, the head's not stable enough. So don't do it.
She doesn't mind. But I do have some good news. I'm going to take him up to Buffalo in July, and we're going to put him in front of the stadium. We're going to do that Lion King scene, and he's going to have the circle of life moment, just kind of like I did. And we're going to hold him up in front of the stadium and make sure he's even more of a Bills Mafia member, because he's going to see both stadiums, and I'm going to hold him up in front of both of them and say, you're a Bills Mafia member for life. Otherwise, Daddy's not going to be too happy, but
I love it. By the way, I just saw Mufasa, the new movie, with my family last week. Good movie. So for those that have children, or if you're just a fan of the series, check it out. That kind of does it, guys. We'll get into the Ravens in the days to come. Can't wait to get into that with you guys. Just glad to get the win. Let's go celebrate it. Let's enjoy it for a day or two. And let's go finish up. Looks like this game here between Tampa and Washington is coming down to the wire. So everyone else, we appreciate you. Again, third time I'm asking, please take a second to just smash that like button. And hey, if you're new to the channel, you like what you see, drop a nickel on that subscribe button for us. We greatly appreciate it. That means a lot. So anyhow, Brett, Sean, Jake out there in the chat, and everyone else, thank you. Have a good day. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. Go Bills.
Go Bills.